Good morning, 741 News Talk 99.7 WNTK, WNTK.com, News Talk 98.9 and 1490 WUVR. John Harper, Jim MacKay, the WNTK Morning Show for Tuesday, May 31st, 2011. You know that it is always presidential politic time here in the state of New Hampshire. Even the day after an election day, after a presidential election, we've seen a number of candidates come through the state of New Hampshire. Yet another hasn't thrown his hat into the ring just yet. That might happen next week is former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum. Senator, good morning and welcome to WNTK. Good to have you on.
Well, thanks, John. It's great to be with you. It's great to be heading up to New Hampshire today, as a matter of fact.
And Senator Santorum will be over at Ruger in Newport. You'll have an opportunity to meet him. You can also ask him questions now. We're at 888-299-3151. So you'll probably throw your hat into the ring next week, yes?
Well, we have an announcement scheduled for next week, and yes, we're looking forward to get out there and talking to folks and tell them what we're going to be planning.
Now, the setting is going to be in the coal mines of western Pennsylvania. You come from a blue-collar family, a working family. Your dad worked in the coal mines. You and I are of a certain generation where we remember America as America, and our parents instilled those values in us, which seem to be gone these days. How do you bring that back?
Well, I think one of the things you have to do is you have to have a leader or leaders in this country who are, proud of our heritage and remind Americans, just like Reagan did, remind America what made us great. And, I go back, and it was my grandfather actually was a coal miner who came and brought my dad as a young man to America, to this little coal mining town, and that was the beginning of our story. And my grandfather came to this country because he wanted to be free, and that was what made that was the huge difference. That continues to be the huge difference, is that America is about possibilities. America is about possibilities because we believe in the power of the individual and the family, and not the power of big government to tell us and to take care of us and tell us how to do everything. And that is the essence of what I think is at stake in this country. We have gotten this government has gotten so big, and under this president has exploded in its influence and power over people. And I think we're at a tipping point that, if, particularly with Obamacare, and if it's not repealed, once the government has their hand around, in deciding whether you get care or not, whether you're going to be healthy or you're going to survive, then I believe the game is over. Then government has all it needs to be able to get more and more resources from you, to get more and more control over your life. And America, as my grandfather aspired it to be, which is this land that believed in him, the land that was not going to take care of him but was going to allow him to take care of himself, that land is going to be slowly, generation after generation, slipping away.
Perhaps it's the New Hampshire live free or die ethic, but I've never understood why the government has to be my parent. That's just a bit of a commentary here as we speak with former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum. Let's speak to Obamacare and just really this blank checkbook that seems to be available to anybody in Washington, D.C. How do you get the government to live within its means?
Well, you have to have a balanced budget amendment. That's something that when I first came to the United States Senate, I was one of the leaders in pushing for a balanced budget amendment. This was back in 1995. We came within one vote on the floor of the United States Senate, and that one vote turned out to be the chairman of the Republican chairman of the Appropriations Committee. And in the last day of the vote, he decided to change his vote from the past and vote against this balanced budget amendment. Immediately, I went out into the floor and told him and said that he should resign, that he should be stripped of his chairmanship of the Appropriations Committee. This was a blow against everything that the Republican Party stood for, and we should not have a chairman of a key committee, the spending committee of the Congress, be the person who defeated this amendment. Now, of course, I was battered by both sides of the aisle for doing so, but I stand by that we have to go out and fight, in some cases fight within our own party, to impose fiscal discipline on this country, on this government. Otherwise, this country is not going to prosper and is not going to be, again, the greatest country in the history of the world.
Former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum, our guest this morning. He will make an appearance at Ruger in Newport a little bit later on today. You can join in the conversation at 888-299-3151 on WNTK WUVR. Staying on the point of the budget, Senator, how do you get the budget in line and balanced without attacking the sacred cow, and that's defense spending?
Well, my feeling on defense spending, I've been very clear that we need to hold defense spending at a constant level right now, and we need to go out and as I did when I served 8 years on the Armed Services Committee, and transform our service into a even more lighter, more lethal force. There's a lot of programs that we have that are big and costly, and frankly, were put together even though there's programs now were put together when we were thinking of fighting massive land wars in Europe. And so there are things that we can do to slim down the Defense Department, but we need to plow that money back in because the first order of business of the government of the United States is to keep us free and safe from foreign aggressors, and that job has not been not any easier now than it was before. We spend, as a percentage of GDP, less money on defense than at any time since World War II. So we have a responsibility to be vigilant on doing the only thing the federal government alone can do, which is to protect our national security, whether it comes to health care, whether it comes to income support, whether it comes to even the domestic security. The states can do a lot of that. There's a lot of things that the federal government is doing right now that it should not be doing. The states should be doing, localities should be doing, or individuals themselves should be doing this. And those are the programs that we look to, as opposed to the thing that the federal government has, the sole responsibility for.